Ja, früher habe ich es immer ein bisschen... Sagt man?
Brauchst du einen Sanga?
Ah ja. Du warst ein bisschen schüchtern, mich selber zu filmen. Aber du brauchst auch, wenn du Content brauchst du Content.
Ja, das ist schon so. Das ist schon so.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava
Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajacharya Sutra Satashamdesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Gupti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Grantaraj Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Gaur Premanandi, all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to the assembly devotees, glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we're reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-lila, chapter 24, text 262. And this is still part of the chapter, the Atmaram, explanation of the Atmaram shloka. And this is the explanation 26. There is, in this chapter, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives 61 explanations of the Atmaram shloka, and this is explanation number 26. And this explanation of the Atmaram verse describes the power of Sadhu Sanga, the power of association with pure devotees. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu narrates the story of the hunter Mrigari, right? So we read text 262, and I will read a couple of more texts also. Amito maya bahu anna pattai imutu dine se analapeyate kaduya jane. We don't have it here, huh? Amitamaya bahu anna pataimu dine se analapeyata kahodui jane. Amitomaya bahu anapatai mudine se analabeyata kaho duijane. Vaishnavas. Amitamaya bahu anapatai mudine se analabeyata kaho duijane. Amitomaya bahu anapatai mudine se analabekata guidane. Vaishnavis. Okay. I, Tomaya, for you, Bahu, much, Anna, food, Pataimu, shall send, Dine, every day, Sei, that, Anna, food, Labe, you shall take, Yata, whatever, Kao, you can eat, Dui Jane, both of you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Narada Muni continued, every day I shall send sufficient food to you both. You can take as much food as you want. Purport. When a person takes to Krishna consciousness, there is no need to care for material necessities. Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Yaham Yaham. I personally carry all necessities to my devotees. Why should one be anxious about the necessities of life? The principle should be that one should not want more than what is absolutely necessary. Narada Muni advises the hunter to accept only what is absolutely necessary for him and his wife. The devotee should always be alert to consume only those things that he absolutely requires and not create unnecessary needs. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadharya Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we all have heard the story of the hunter Mrigari. Narada Muni was walking through the forest and he found animals that were just half killed, like they were kind of alive but almost dead and struggling for their life, because he just killed them in a way that they have to suffer, and he kind of took pleasure in seeing the animals suffering. And then Narada Muni asked him, what you're doing? And he said, well, that's how I learned it from my father. And Narada Muni preaches to him and explains, well, you will create a lot of sinful reaction for you and your family if you do like that. Better you kill them fully. Of course, killing is not good for the first place, but if, then don't create more suffering. But then Narada Muni preaches to him, and Mrigari the hunter surrenders unto Narada Muni and becomes his disciple. And that's what's going on here. Basically, Narada Muni instructs him, you break your bow. And then he's questioning, so how can I survive? And Narada Muni explains, well, every day I shall send sufficient food. So basically he tells him, if you become a devotee, if you fully surrender to Krishna, that you don't have to worry about the maintenance, but Krishna personally will take care. And we will see in the story what happens, because when the people in the village get to know that this cruel hunter who was so brutally killing animals has become a Vaishnava, just sitting in front of Tulasi Marani and chanting Hare Krishna, they all are amazed. Such a transformation of heart. And they come and they bring foodstuff to him just to maintain him and his wife, family. So I'll just read a few more shlokas, because that was the last shloka in a conversation between Narada and the hunter. Now there will be some description, and it's towards the end of the story. The last part, of course, is how Narada Muni comes back after some time and sees the transformation of him. But these are a few more texts which connected to the topic of how Krishna maintains his devotees. And as devotees of Krishna, we don't have to worry about our material maintenance. So text 263. Tapaise mrighati tina narada sushta kaila sushta hana mrighati tine dhana pala haila. The 3 animals that were half killed were then brought to their consciousness by the sage Narada. Indeed, the animals got up and swiftly fled. So here Narada Muni performs a little miracle, bringing these half-dead animals back to life, or healthy in the sense that they can run away. So in front of the eye of the hunter, Mrigari, these animals, they get back to their strength and they run away. There is no purport here. Text 264. Dekhiya vyatera mane hoila chamatkara gare gela vyadha guru ke kari namaskara. When a hunter saw the half-killed animals flee, he was certainly struck with wonder. He then offered his respectful obeisances to the sage Narada and returned home. Yatha sthane Narada gela vyatha gira aila naradrera upadeksha shakala karila. After all this, Narada Muni went to his destination. After the hunter returned home, he exactly followed the instruction of his spiritual master, Narada. Prabhupada short purport. For the spiritual advancement, one must have a bona fide spiritual master and follow his instruction in order to be assured of advancement. So this story also is an example of a guru-disciple relationship and how the disciple strictly followed the instruction of Guru. And then 2 more. 266. Grame dvani hoila yata vaishnava ila gramera loka shaba ana anite lagila. The news that the hunter had become a Vaishnava spread all over the village. Indeed, all the villagers brought alms and presented them to the Vaishnavas who had formerly been a hunter. Purport. It is the duty of the public to present gift to a saintly person, Vaishnava or Brahmana, when going to see him. Every Vaishnava is dependent on Krishna, and Krishna is ready to supply all of his life's necessities, provided a Vaishnava follows the principle set forth by the spiritual master. There are certainly many householders in our Krishna conscious movement. They join the movement and live in the society centers. But if they take advantage of this opportunity and do not work, but live at the expenses of the movement, eating prasadam and simply sleeping, they place themselves in a very dangerous position. It is therefore advised that Grihastha should not live in a temple. They must live outside in a temple and maintain themselves. Of course, if the Grihastha are fully engaged in the Lord's service, according to the directions of the authorities, there is no harm in their living in the temple. In any case, a temple should not be a place to eat and sleep. A temple manager should be carefully about these things. Temple is not a place for crazies and lazies, and it's not meant just for eating and sleeping. It's a place for spiritual practice, strong practice and focused service and sadhana. But yeah, if even householders, if they practice properly, they can stay in a temple. But in general, it's better to stay outside and take care of their own maintenance. But in any case, Krishna is the one who provides. Whether you're in the temple or outside of the temple, it's Krishna who actually helps the devotees to maintain themselves. And then the last text for today, 267, Ekadina ana ane dhasya bisha jane, dina tataloya yatta kaya dui jane. In one day, enough food was brought for 10 or 20 people, but the hunter and his wife would accept only as much as they could eat. So they followed Narada Muni's instruction to, live a simple life, just take what is needed. But they were fully maintained by the villagers who showed so much affection and appreciation for their spiritual practice. So this is a beautiful story, and it teaches us different things. One is, of course, the power of Sadhu Sanga. It also teaches us about the art of transformation. It's certainly a story of transformation. And it also shows how a disciple surrenders to the instruction of a guru. So let us talk a little bit about these things. Power of Sadhu Sanga. I mean, Narada Muni is an example in the scripture of a sadhu who, wherever he goes, he transforms the heart of people. That's a symptom of a true sadhu, pure devotee. Wherever he goes, people that come in touch with him, they simply, become transformed just by the association. So Sadhu Sanga is giving us strength. When we associate with devotees, advanced devotees, then by their association we feel spiritually nourished. Just to be in their association, just listening from them, getting advice, that gives us this spiritual strength. And then Maya cannot touch us, because we are actually in a very precarious, very difficult situation, being in a material world. And any time we can kind of fall off from the path of devotional service. But by having Sadhu Sanga association, then Maya cannot touch us. And Sangha means, what would you say? What does it Sangha mean? Association with devotees. What does it really mean? But how does it association? What activity does association include?
Sharing, like 6.
Okay, 6 loving exchanges. Yes, certainly. Yeah, and reveal one's heart confidentially and hear from the other person, and giving gifts and receiving gifts. 6 loving exchanges. Serving the Vaishnava. Yes, and Sangha means hearing also. And even hearing is also actually serving. How to serve a sadhu? By actually listening to the sadhu. That's service. Shravanam is a service. Just by listening, that hearing process is the most powerful way of Sangha. And Sangha means to imbibe the mood of a sadhu. Like you hear, and then you try to understand the heart of that sadhu. You try to understand what is actually his mood, what is he actually want to give us, and then you imbibe that mood. So one should develop greed to get Sadhu Sangha. Usually greed is not a good thing. We shouldn't be greedy people. But when it comes to spiritual life, we can transform these qualities, and one should be greedy. One should be very eager, in other words, to have Sadhu Sangha. Because Sadhu Sangha It's the greatest asset of this world. It's actually more glorious than direct association with Krishna. That's a strong statement. But because, it's nice to, of course, I mean, everyone would like to have darshan of the Lord Krishna. That's, amazing. But by actually getting Sadhu Sanga, we can receive bhakti. And by that bhakti, we can bound up Krishna in our hearts. And that bhakti comes not from Krishna, it comes from the sadhus. It comes from Krishna's devotees. And therefore, when we look at the Bhagavatam, we find many devotees, they're having darshan of the Lord, but then once they have darshan and they're being asked for benediction, they ask, please, give me the benediction that I may associate with your devotees. And that's amazing. They have the Lord in front of them. They could ask anything, and in a way they have attained perfection because they see the Lord face to face. But then what they ask, I want to have association of your devotees. Why? Because in the association of the devotees, they will be able to develop that love, and they will always be fixed in Krishna consciousness. So the Prachetas, famous verse in the Bhagavatam, this is 4:34. Tulayamana lavena pina svargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashisha. Prachetas, they're praying. Even a moment's association with a pure devotee cannot be compared to being transferred to heavenly planets or even merging into the Brahman effulgence in complete liberation. For living entities who are destined to give up the body and die, association with pure devotees is the highest benediction possible. So this is interesting. Usually all the Vedas, they describe karma kanda, they describe the heavenly planets, and everyone is doing rituals, somehow attain the svarga loka, that's the highest goal for many. Those who are a bit more, the jnanis, they strive for liberation, mukti. But here the Prachetas say, well, even a short moment association cannot be compared to these achievements. Because in the association of devotees, we actually develop that love for the Lord. And that's the highest goal of life. And Dhruva Maharaj is also praying in a similar way. Bhaktim muha pravahatam dvaime prasango bhuyat ananta mahatam amalasayanam yin yashalobanam uru vyasanam bhavabdim nesye bhavat gunakatamrita panamata. Dhruva Maharaj continued, O unlimited Lord, so he prays to the Lord directly, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontinuated state of life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nescient ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are externally existing. So very beautiful shloka. Dhruva is praying for the association of devotees. Why? Because in the association of devotees, he is able to hear Krishna Katha. And he has said, I have become mad to hear Krishna Katha. And in the purport, Prabhupada explains, just someone becomes a drug addict and he's addicted to drugs. Vaishnavas become addicted to Krishna Katha. I have to hear Krishna Katha. Please, where can I listen? Where can I hear? And that Krishna Katha takes place in the association of the devotees. And that's why we need that association. And then it's described, Dhruva Maharaj says that he will bhava abdim, he will cross over the ocean of material existence. So, if you are in an ocean, what do you need? You need a strong boat to cross over that ocean. And Sadhu Sanga is a strong boat to cross over this material nature. By associating with devotees, that is what we need. That becomes a strong boat by which we can cross over the material nature. So it's the greatest fortune to get Sadhu Sanga. And of course some people say, well, there is no sadhus. I don't find pure devotees in our society. But that's only the crooked people, those who are not honest. They will not see, because sadhu will not be visible for everyone. Not everyone will recognize that this is a sadhu. They may search, but they cannot find. No, there is no sadhus, because actually sadhus are always there. It's said, as there is the sun and the moon is always there. There will be always pure devotees in this world. The world cannot continue without pure devotees. The Lord always makes sure that there are sadhus on this planet. But because we are crooked and dishonest, we cannot see. But one who is simple-hearted, and one who cries, who is very sincerely desires such association, then Krishna in the heart, he will understand, and from within he will reveal who is a sadhu. And that person will get sadhu sanga. And sadhus cannot be seen through the eyes, but they can be seen through the ears. We have to hear, and by hearing we recognize who is a sadhu. There is this interesting pastime with Pundarik Vidyanidhi. You remember? Was it? Yes. Mukunda told to Gadadhar, right? Yes. Mukunda told to Gadadhar that there is a great Vaishnava in the town and we want to see him. So Gadadhar goes with him. And then when they go there, he thought, okay, we see a sadhu. But then we go there and there's a huge opulent place, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi sits there on a huge bed with cushions everywhere and some golden pots, and he chews betel nut and spits in the golden pots, and there is servants, fanning with a chamara on both sides and playing music, and he's there and like half intoxicated, looking, very opulent, like a king sitting there, like a materialistic person, very materialistic person. It appears, and Gadadhar has a doubt in his mind. Where did Mukunda brought me here? No, I thought we see a sadhu, and now we are sitting here in front of this materialistic person. And Mukunda could understand, just from looking at the facial expression of Gadadhar, he could understand. I think he doesn't understand the glories of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And what is Mukunda doing? He quotes a shloka from the Bhagavatam, yes. Aho bhakiyam sanakala kutam chigam sayapayayat apyasadvi lebegatim datriuchitam tatonyam kamvadayulum sharanam rajami. This is from the 3rd canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the wonderful glories of Krishna's merciful nature. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of a mother to a she-demon, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast? So this is a beautiful description of Lord Krishna, how he's so merciful. Even though Putana, she wanted to kill Krishna, Krishna only saw the good thing, because she came as a mother and she wanted to breastfeed him, and Krishna just accepted the good without looking at the bad. So that's why it says, alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful? No. Dayalum. No, there's no one. Sharanam Rajame. How can I take shelter of someone who is more merciful? He's the most merciful. That's why let me take shelter of Krishna. He is so wonderful. So now you all have heard the shloka, but I don't see anyone trembling, falling on the ground. Of course, maybe my purity in speaking is also not there. But when Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard this shloka from the Bhagavatam, he immediately fell in ecstasy. Yes, the Lord is so merciful, the Lord is so beautiful. And then he kind of just fall in some ecstatic, showed some ecstatic symptoms, and he kind of trembled and all of the pots fell down and he rolled on the ground and and then Gadadhar could understand, oh my God, this is a very advanced devotee. It's a very advanced personality. And so in this way, of course, Gadadhar then later on took shelter and accepted him as a guru. And actually there is an eternal connection between Pundarik Vidyanidhi and Gadadhar, because who is Gadadhar? And who is Pundarik Vidyanidhi? Vrishabhanu. Yeah. So there's a natural connection between the two. So, but this shows that sadhus cannot be not only, often we cannot just see sadhus just externally by our eyes, but actually by hearing, by deeply understanding what is in their heart. Then sadhus are revealed. So therefore, sadhus has two things. Sadhus have kripa and they have vanchana. They have mercy and they have cheating. It's depending on our attitude what sadhu will give us. No? If we come with a cheating mentality, sadhu will, yes. But actually, and we think, oh, I got the blessings. You know, Maharaj gave me the garland. I got the blessings. But maybe, you know, I go there, Maharaj, I want to do this, I want to do that. Yeah, you do. Actually, he cheated you. And you think you got the blessings, but actually the sadhu wanted you to do something else, but you didn't approach him with humility. You didn't ask, how can I please you? How can I serve you? You just wanted to do your own thing. Yes, you do. But true kripa, mercy, means when the sadhu tells you what, gives you instruction, maybe corrects you, and you accept that mercy, and then there is blessings. So therefore, we have to be very careful to understand who is a sadhu, take shelter of a sadhu, and then follow sadhu's instruction. And then transformation can take place, and that we can see in this pastime. Narada Muni is a powerful sadhu, and Mrugari the hunter, he was actually, although he was very sinful, now by the association of Narada, he kind of changed. And he accepted, you break your bow. And that's what, with this bow, he was maintaining his life. That's how he lived. But he followed the instruction, he broke the bow, and he surrendered to the spiritual master's instruction. And then transformation could take place. So Prabhupada explains, it's like if you have a seed and you throw it on a barren land, nothing will grow. The land needs to be cultivated. Or when a man and woman unite, both sides, it's not just one side. The man needs to be potent, the woman needs to be able to receive, and then the child can come. So, similarly in the guru-disciple relationship, although the guru might be a pure devotee, a very powerful sadhu, but if the disciple is crooked, if the disciple is dishonest, if he's not open to receive, if he's proud, then nothing will happen. So it requires both. It requires the pure devotee and it requires an honest, sincere disciple. And then the magic can happen. Then the transformation can take place. And of course, transformation is not just an external thing that we just put on tilak and take different clothing, but transformation is something which takes place inside, where we actually change our attitude, our values, and finally our character. And we can see that in this story of Mrugari the hunter. Now, one of the reasons why Murari could go through this transformation is because he followed the instruction of Guru very strictly. And also he surrendered. And when we speak of surrender, one aspect of surrender is that one accepts Krishna as one maintainer, right? To fully accept that, yes, Krishna will always protect me and always maintain me. And of course, Krishna, as Prabhupada also points out in the purport, is promising this. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana purya pashyate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Shishigo Nitai Ki Jai. I'll just read Srila Prabhupada's purport. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness can but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship and surrendering fully to the Lord. Prabhupada refers to the 9 angas of devotional service. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization. so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Kshema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga, and when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to miserable condition of life. And it's nice how Prabhupada actually speaks about an even higher principle of maintenance, because usually when we speak about maintenance, we think of the not just rice and sabji, being maintained, but Prabhupada even speaks of a higher principle. And of course, we remember the story of Arjuna Acharya. You already know the story of Arjuna Acharya? I'm sure you will know. He was the one who edited the Gita. He was a simple Brahmana editing the Gita, studying the Gita, and then he came to this shloka, and he read this text, Vahami aham, I carry. Krishna says, I personally carry, whatever my devotee lack and what they need, I personally carry. And he said, no, this is not, it can't be that Krishna personally carries. He will not personally carry, but he will make arrangements that it will be carried out by his energies. Not that he himself does it. So he kind of crossed that part of the scripture and edited. This must be the right meaning. There's a mistake. So then he left for his daily begging. He was very poor. He went for begging, and in the meantime, his wife was, waiting till he comes back so he can prepare lunch. And all of a sudden, two boys standing in front of the door with huge buckets of rice, grains, food, vegetables. Oh my God! Thank you so much. Where you have come from, and who has told you that we need some food? You take. We are quickly going before we see your husband. Why? Because your husband will beat us again. No, my husband is not beating you. Oh, he does. And then boys show their back, and there is kind of scratches of beating, and then they run away. And the wife is surprised. What's going on here? So she takes the food stuff and she prepares a meal. And then she sits down and eats herself. And when the husband comes back, he's quite shocked. Why is usually a Vedic wife is waiting for the husband, serving him food and then eats. She's already eating. What's going on? And then she said, what's going on with you? How do you dare to beat small boys? What are you talking? I never beat boys. There were these two boys here, and then she tells the whole story. And he's kind of scratching his head. Wait a minute, how did they look like? Oh, they looked so beautiful. One was blackish, one was whitish. They looked so, so beautiful. And then he realized this was Krishna Balaram personally coming and proving that Vahami aham, I personally carry. I carry personally. Krishna proves I personally carry what my devotee need. So he understood, oh my God, Krishna Balaram personally came to my house and they brought foodstuff to prove. And why did they had some scratch at the back, scars at the back, because he he changed the scripture. He would and I guess this is an ancient story. So this was palm leaf. So they kind of scratch it. And Gita and Krishna is non-different. So in this way, Krishna was hurt. So this is an interesting story, which the Acharyas give in regard to this shloka. Krishna proves that he personally carries what his devotees need. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also describes this in his Sharanagati, which describes the 6 symptoms of surrender, and 2 of them being this faith. Krishna is always maintaining and protecting me. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, Vishvasha Palana. Vishvasha Palana means that the faith that Krishna always gives protection, and of course Gopritve Varana, that Krishna is always the maintainer. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has beautiful songs that just give a glimpse. This is a general principle that Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes here. Tumi sarveshvareshvara vrachendra kumara tomara iyacha vishve shrijana samhara. According to your will, Lord Shiva destroys, and according to your will, Maya constructs the prison house of this material world. According to your will, the living beings take birth and die, and according to your will, they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness and sorrow. The tiny soul bound up by Maya vainly struggles in the fetters of worldly desire. Without your sanction, he is unable to do anything. You are my only protector and maintainer. Except for your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me. No longer confident of my own strength and endeavor, I have become solely dependent on your will. Bhaktivinoda is very poor, and his pride has been leveled. Now, in accordance with your will, he lives and dies. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur expresses his full dependence on the Lord. And then also he gives a description on his household life. Because usually it's the householders who are in great anxiety. Like as a brahmachari, you live in a temple and every day is 3 times prasadam, very opulent prasad, and you happily live without carefree life. But of course, unless you're the temple president, then you also have to worry to make sure that there is enough finances. But usually the householders, husband, he's responsible to maintain his family. He has wife, children, and he has to make sure that every day or every month there is enough money to pay the bills, to pay food. So but Bhaktivinoda Thakur expresses his conviction after taking shelter of Krishna. Dara putra necha deho kutamba falane sarvada vyakula ami jinu mane ke mone achibo artha yasha kishe pabo kanya putra vivaha ke mone sampadibo. In my heart I have always been anxious for the maintenance of my wife and children, my own body and relatives. How will I earn money? How will I acquire fame? How will I arrange the marriages of my sons and daughters? Now, through self-surrender, I have been relieved of all anxiety. O Lord, surely you will provide for the maintenance of your own household. He says, your household, not my household. Because I have become a devotee of you, everything belongs to you, that's why it's your household. Recognizing me as your own servant, you will certainly maintain me. While rendering devotional service unto you, I feel the greatest happiness. O Lord, all events take place only by your will. The deluded soul of this world declares, I am the doer, but this is very fully. What is a tiny soul actually able to do unless you act? The jiva can only desire to act, and unless you fulfill his desire, your own sweet will, he cannot do anything. Being freed from all anxiety, I will humbly render service unto you. If any good or evil should occur while serving in your home, it will not be my responsibility. Bhaktivinoda thus completely renounces his own independence and engages in exclusive service of your lotus feet with no other interest in life. So these beautiful prayers describing how a householder understands this is Krishna's home, this is Krishna's wife, Krishna's children, and I'm simply a servant of Krishna, and therefore it's Krishna's responsibility to maintain me. My job is to worship Krishna, and Krishna's job is to maintain me. That's the relationship. And that faith, that's a symptom of surrender. And we can see it in this pastime, Mrigari the hunter. Somehow, by the blessings and the mercy of Narada Muni, he got that conviction, he got that faith. Okay, I'll break my bow, and I will just follow the instruction of my guru. I will sit down and in front of Tulsi chant Hare Krishna, and the Lord will take care. And as described in this text that we read today, then Krishna made arrangement, inspired the villagers from within the heart to visit and give foodstuff to the family, and they lived peacefully. So that's a nice teaching we can take for our own life, that Yes, of course we have to endeavor. It's not that we just sit lazy on a couch and eat potato chips and watch Netflix and think that Krishna will provide because I'm a devotee. Krishna will provide for us when we are fully engaged in his service. That's an important little detail we have to mention at the end. Krishna will fully take care of us if we have become his devotee. And devotee means be fully engaged in his service, loving service. And then Krishna will take care. Otherwise, we have to continue struggling. That's for sure. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? Yes? Hare Krishna. Can we have the mic?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for the lecture. I heard a lot of interesting points about importance of Sadhu Sanga, which I want to listen one more time and also to reflect on them. And my question is that sometimes I feel that we have a lot of mercy in form of sadhus who are coming to our temple, for example, or something, or also in the internet we can listen a lot. But I feel myself from my side that like sadhus are here, lectures are here in internet, but still like I cannot accept this. Like they are here, and even as we read, even the moment of association with sadhu can absolutely transform our life, our heart, but still I see sadhu, but I don't see really sadhu. Like I see only body of sadhu, but not internal sadhu. Yes, and I want to ask you about attitude of disciple. How should we reciprocate with sadhu that we can receive this mercy? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very honest reflection that although we may meet many sadhus, we're not really able to, access or receive their mercy, right? I remember once there was a sadhu from Orissa coming to Switzerland. Very amazing sadhu, a really advanced devotee. And I asked him about this Sadhu Sanga. We hear that Sadhu Sanga is so important, but sometimes I feel we don't have enough Sadhu Sanga. And he looked at me, you got so much Sadhu Sanga, but now you have to follow Sadhu's instruction. So he kind of pointed it out that yes, listening to sadhus is one thing, but then also we need to learn how to imbibe the mood and how to follow the instruction of these sadhus. Like to see, okay, what can I take from this lecture, what can I take from these instructions, and how can I implement it in my life? So following the instruction then becomes a very important part to make sure that actually transformation can take place. And in regards to your question about what is the attitude of a disciple in order to actually be able to get full benefit of the Sadhu Sangha, I think one thing which is very important, we need to deeply understand our condition, our situation. If like how is sometimes on the streets a beggar is approaching us. And you can see some, if someone is really desperately in need, you will feel the person is really needy, he needs some help. And it's a very humble attitude. So in our case, okay, we may have food and clothing and we are doing fine, materially speaking. But then how much have we realized our condition, our difficult situation in the material world? Like that we are influenced by Maya, that we have so many material desires, that there is the 6 enemies in our hearts who are constantly harassing us. We are constantly overcome by lust and anger and greed. And the more we realize how fallen our position is, the more we develop a desire or a need, I need help, I need support. And when that kind of desire or that realization becomes stronger, then we will in a very humble mood approach sadhus and request help, right? Otherwise, okay, another sadhu is here, Haribol. But if we really understand I need mercy, then we are becoming more receptive. I would say that's one thing. And another thing I forgot to mention, I did mention about Prabhupada in his purport, speaking about the maintenance that Krishna gives. Krishna is not only maintaining our physical life by giving us food and money, but Krishna maintains our spiritual life. And that's also sometimes we sometimes struggle in our spiritual life. We think, how can I ever become a pure devotee? How I will be able to follow these principles strongly? But then we also have to depend on Krishna. In a way, Krishna, on my own, I'm actually not able to follow these principles. But if you help me, with your help, I will be able to do it. And then we depend on Krishna. And then Krishna will actually help us to maintain our spiritual principles. So that's what Prabhupada talks about in regards to maintaining. And so I would say developing that humility in the heart and the understanding of the necessity or the need for actually help. And then we will be more open to receive mercy. Is that okay? Hare Krishna, yes. All right, I think we are over time already. Okay, one more, the last, and then we will quickly try to answer, then we end.
You mentioned this verse,
Mm-hmm. I think you mentioned. Yes.
How properly to share sacred things?
Goyam akriyati prichati. How to reveal one's heart in confidence.
Yes, in a proper way.
In a proper way. Mm-hmm.
I think you know what I mean. And second question, how to understand what Krishna wants from you more? To give in temple or to more to share in this world?
Yes. To the first point, revealing one's heart in confidence. Important is that it's in confidence. It's guyam akriyate prichati. Guyam means secret confidence. So it means we should create an environment where we actually feel protected and secure. That means we only reveal our heart to those we actually trust. So it's important we find people in our lives that we fully trust. It's not that we just share with everyone. So I think it's very important for everyone in our spiritual life to have at least one person or some person in our life that we have a very deep relationship we can fully trust, like a mentor and someone we can open up. And so we should all have such a person in our life. If we don't have, then it's not good. We are actually in a dangerous position. Because if we are not able to reveal our hearts, then we kind of keep it within ourselves, and then things become more worse. And we go down. But if we can, if we have we struggle with something, but if we can just open our heart, and even just by speaking about it, it can, help us to overcome it. So, but we need someone to reveal our hearts. But that person should be a very trusted person. Ideally, someone more advanced and a well-wisher, someone who, really wants to help us and who is able to keep confidentiality, not that the next day you find it on Facebook or Instagram, right? And and regarding the second point, what was the second point?
How to understand what Krishna wants?
What Krishna wants from you, yes. Well, of course, the quick answer is we are accepting a sadhu in our life, we're accepting a guru, and that guru is connected to Krishna, and by following guru's instruction, we are following Krishna's desire. That's the quick answer. All right, I think we will stop here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj, Srimad Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Jai Ho.
Good. That's the job of the one who gives class. That would be the idea.